I am here with an awesome guest, as you know her. She's been on here many times. Mariquita Solis. Or wait, Mariquita Solis. See, I'm working on my rolling of the R, right?
You're doing
Um,
better than me.
Thank you so much for joining. This is basically called Vegan Conversations. It's like an open forum. We did this last evening too, and we want to try to do a couple of these at least a week and a month just to kind of bring everyone together. Like sometimes it's when you're looking for information on YouTube or when you're living your day-to-day life, you don't know like a whole lot of actual vegans in real life to talk to, especially if you're a new vegan and you have questions, or if you're an experienced vegan and you might have struggles that you're going through, or you just want to talk about how awesome things are going and share with the world how you've made these spiritual connections with animals, or you've made these awesome discoveries with your health based on the diet, or maybe you have a new recipe you want to share. Maybe you just want to come on and be around other like-minded people. So I think we'll try to come up with some, overall topics, but I think this is just going to be a great environment. And I want to welcome Mariquita. Can you tell us a little? Everyone knows me from being here, but tell us a little about yourself for those who might not have watched our previous live streams. Welcome, Angela. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. If you want to come up, the link is right in the pinned comment here. So anyone that wants to come on and join the panel, please come on up. And now I'll stop rambling and let Mariquita talk.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to be here, JJ. I have been here before, and it's always fun, and we always laugh a lot. And I'm excited to see if anyone else joins us. So if you're watching, please come on. We'd love to have you. So, who am I? I'm a vegan empowerment coach. I'm very grounded in animal wisdom, teaching animal wisdom and earth wisdom in my coaching programs. So, the animals and the earth are living really in alignment with nature. And so sometimes we get out of alignment with that and we forget who we are and how powerful we are. So my mission is to help vegans step back into that connection with animal wisdom, connection with themselves so they can strengthen their voice you have to strengthen your voice for yourself first. And then you can use it to spread the good news, the vegan good news, and get back into connection of all of life's this amazing life.
I love that. And can you just share, like, what exactly is the role of and I know you've really gotten, like, especially this past year, because I think I've known you for a couple of years now. It seems like forever, but I know it hasn't been forever. But you've gotten really delved into the, like, um, kind of getting more involved with nature and like understanding how nature relates to how we can live better as humans, and also like that connection. And like when I hear you talk about like animals and how we can kind of relate to them, because I think we have so much to learn from them, and that's a part that a lot of us don't even explore when it comes to veganism. We all have this special love for animals, because we you know, all don't want to use any products that harm them, or eat anything that would, be an animal product. It's just not food to us. But then there's that whole other realm of it that you're beginning to explore, which is really cool, which is like the real connection, making that connection. Like, I know the only thing that I really ever thought about, one of the things I've heard a long time ago that always stayed with me, was how the tree is like rooted in the earth, but like the branches can blow. And sometimes we kind of have to manipulate our life in that way, or kind of like just go with the flow. Sometimes we're not always going to be able to know what breezes come along, in other words, what things are going to happen, but it's how we handle it, and we can't be too resistant to it. Sometimes we have to give a little, and understand that, like I was talking about this in the beginner vegan, the beginning tips. Like, you're not going to know everything in the beginning, so sometimes it can seem like you're getting, like, everything's getting all over complicated. But really, if you get back to those basics of nature and how plants grow, and like how we have to water the seeds. Like I've heard you talk about that. That is super cool. I love how you're bringing nature into our, into our realm here with veganism.
Yeah, well, nature and animals are the greatest teachers. If the animals are great stewards of the planet, they would not. They're not harming the planet. And so it's up to us to learn from them. How do they treat the planet, and how do they live? And they live really very mindfully in the present moment. They're not worrying themselves sick or judging themselves like we often do. They don't have those limiting beliefs. They don't get up and say, oh my gosh, I'm too fat, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not this, or I'm not that. They live in acceptance, and they love themselves, and they do what they have to do to enjoy this life, and to survive. And we're we're sabotaging ourselves so many times. So it's really important that we can learn from them, like you're saying, in the trees that bend and sway, and they let go of their leaves when it's time. When it's time to let go, they let go freely, and then they go into the quiet of the winter, and then they spring back up. Right? They take the time to hibernate, like and like a turtle will say. But they do what they need to do, and they know what they need to do, and they're very connected. The trees with their root systems, um, they recognize their families, and it's been shown that they sometimes will give more nourishment to their family members. And even when other trees have passed away, they've shown where a tree that's been chopped, dead for 200 years, or I think 100 or 200 years, still has chlorophyll in it. And how is that happening? It's happening because the other trees are still sending the nutrients to that tree. So it's very interesting that, like the elephants, they care so much for their families. And all this is right in front of our, I mean, this is right here accessible, this wisdom to apply it to our lives, right? To be that solid foundation for other vegans and other activists, instead of fighting and judging, and when we're all different trees, right? So we need to support each other instead of bashing each other. If somebody is, let's say somebody makes a mistake, or has a goes and eats cheese, right? Instead of bashing them, how can we support them? They need more nutrients, right? That person needs more help. So the trees would send more nutrients to that tree. Instead, we attack. So there's a lot we can learn.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love what you said also about like living in the moment. Like, hey, welcome Tessa. Tessa Jane is here. Thank you for always being here and encouraging the channel. I appreciate you. One of these days we're gonna get you to come up here. Um, Let me just read the next comment here really quick. So, and then let's see. I'm just starting my vegan journey. Is it better to start raw plant based or cooked vegan meals? Um, so it really depends what's I feel like, and I'll have let Marquita talk on this. If you're interested in being raw vegan, but maybe you're not quite ready to go all the way to raw vegan. Like if you are used to already eating cooked meals, it might be, some people like to transition by like, I personally, whether I was eating cooked or not, love to have all like raw food for my lunches. Like I love having fruit in the morning if I do eat in the morning, and especially in the afternoon, which is when I usually eat. It kind of keeps me with a lot of energy, like fruit or raw vegetable, a salad or something like that. To me, a lot of people do like raw until 4 and then they have a cooked meal in the evening. Personally, when I went raw, which is like how I feel best, you do have to make sure that you're eating enough calories, because a lot of times we're very restrictive on diets, especially for eating really heavy cooked meals. We might think, especially when we're eating the regular American diet, a lot of diets are saying, well, you have to watch portion control. But one of the things I learned about being raw is you can literally eat as much as you want. And I know that sounds funny. It sounds like one of those gimmick diets, like eat as much as you want and still lose weight. But it really does allow you that, to, if you get some fruit and you really like it, to have 2 or 3 oranges, or some raw vegans I've seen eat like 6 oranges, like Lawrence that you just interviewed, Marquita. I see his meals that he shares on Facebook, and I'm like, goodness, it's like a big bowl of all kinds of fruit, and I tend to love eating like one type of fruit at a time during the day, and then in the nighttime you could have a big salad. And like if you're used to eating like really heavy cooked meals, I've noticed adding like a few like nuts and avocados, and then doing like a nice, like maybe something filling like bananas for dessert, or a banana smoothie with like a plant-based milk. I find that like in the beginning, whenever I switch from cooked food to raw, that really helps me to transition so that you're not, maybe hungry because you're used to getting a lot of calories. I think there's so many ways that you can do it, and it's just I commend you. So thank you for starting your vegan journey, because like some people that have a family and they eat a lot of, they're cooking for everyone and they eat cooked food already. Sometimes I'll say, just think about what you already eat, and let's try to make those meals, transition them to whole food, plant based. I think me and Marakita would both agree. If I had never tried a junk food vegan meal, I would be happy, but some people need that to transition over, but the healthiest way you can eat is like whole food without processed food. So if you can start out with that and just get your taste used to it, I would say to do that. I love the energy and kind of the glow and everything that raw vegan gives me, but I know Marakita is whole food plant based, and she has just as good of great health and everything. And most people I know are like that. So I think they're both great, options. And if you need more than just that, like, you can always reach out to me on private message. My Facebook group is linked, and we can share more with you, either one of us. What do you think?
I think yeah, it's very dependent. I mean, I think really listen to your body, right? Listen to what you want. I mean, I think you can do both, like you were saying, JJ. Like maybe the raw in the morning, which is really good for your body to not have to work hard with the fruit. I mean, fruit is very, you know more about it, that about the fruit and not digesting. That gives your body a break. So it's wonderful to do that, and then do the best you can. Know that you're human, and yeah, and know that just do the best you can.
I agree. Yeah. And if you need some, like, recipes and things, like, I find that because I did go raw right away, it did help me clear out of all the other, things that you could kind of get involved with if you're going into vegan. Like, even if you're going vegan and you're used to eating burgers, and then you keep eating, a lot of processed of the imitation meat, which is great. I'm glad they're making it, because and I was talking yesterday about Jen on our Facebook group. She's been vegan 60 days, and she's been doing a lot of incorporating both. Sometimes she'll have those vegan transitional foods, but then she balances out with like a lot of fruit and vegetables. And yeah, like through the whole thing, I've noticed, like you said, digestion is one of the most improved things. I don't know if you have like health things that you're trying to, clear up too, Angela, but like the more foods like this you can eat, and the less meat and dairy that you can put in, you'll start to see those things. You'll start to feel better, more energy. And she, like I said, she had started to incorporate some of the imitation meats, but she's moving into like more whole food, plant based, like the, rice and beans and things like that. That works best for her. And like for me, I started with completely raw vegan, and that, seemed to be what worked for me, because it wasn't like I had any temptations after that of all the other, things. A lot of people do like a reset or a reboot like that. Yeah, and that's one of the things. I'm glad you mentioned that. She said that she has a lot of health problems and allergies. That's one of the things I got rid of. That very year that I went plant based, my allergies, I used to have terrible seasonal allergies and colds every year, and I've never had that since I went plant based. So it definitely can help. And a lot of people do say that the more raw food you can add, the quicker it goes to your healing. I have heard a lot of people say that. But again, as long as it's not going to deter you from it. If you start with raw and you find that that's not something you feel like excited and motivated about that you can sustain, then I would at least do, cooked food vegan, because you're still improving your health by not eating animal products.
Yeah, exactly. And then one of my friends, I'm just going to say, not say who it is because maybe they don't want me to say it, but her father was in the late stages of cancer and turned it around with the raw vegan macro macrobiotic diet.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
awesome.
it
There's
has
just
amazing.
many stories like that we don't even hear. Like, you would think they'd be broadcasting this on like national TV, right? Like if you knew someone had healed, turned around like cancer and things. And it's just, that's one of the reasons I love putting the interviews out here. You know what I mean? Because it really helps somebody to have hope. And of course we do have to like say too, if you're on a lot of medications, to make sure that your doctor's monitoring them, because I've heard of people using their medication to lower, get and almost can come off of it eventually. But you don't want, like, if you're on diabetes medication, as the example I always use, to lower your blood sugar, or like, I think Diana was talking about, she was on blood pressure medication to lower it, and she became vegan, and her doctor was like, okay, that you don't need that anymore. So it like got actually too low, because it was like, okay, she was naturally healing herself, so the medication to take the blood pressure down wasn't necessary, which is awesome. So we have to, like, I'm just so thankful I came across this, because for so many years I dealt with, back pain and being overweight. And when I found this, it was like sustainable for me. It's something that you can get excited about. And it's even better than a diet, because after a while you make that connection about, that it becomes more ethical for a lot of people. Some people start out because they don't want to harm animals and then end up seeing health benefits. I was saying that last night too. But then, like, for me, I started the other way. And then you kind of start to see the world differently, all the way until like just this year, noticing from learning from you about the connection with animals. And also, Anne, that I had on here, was talking about how the trees grow the fruit, give it to us for nutrients, and then we disperse the seeds, like, the animals that eat the fruit and us as humans then make the seeds grow other places by us carrying them off from the tree. So it's like, it's such like a circle. When people say circle of life, that's why we should eat animals. It's so different. That's not the circle of life. Not for us. We're not carnivores. We're here
No,
to, like, continue to, do that. So I'm excited for you, Angela. I hope you'll go to the description. I'll have Marakita's group and mine in there. And we're always like encouraging new vegans. And if you need help, please reach out, because I'm excited. Welcome, Diana. I was just talking about you. Diana Varner, Plant Based, is watching. She might jump in a little while. I know you interviewed her. She has an inspiring journey.
yeah, she does. Listen, give me 1 second. I have something in the instant pot, and I just heard it beeping, and I'm scared it's blowing up. I
You'll
mean,
have
I
to
don't.
tell us what you're making when you return.
I'll be right back.
This is Vegan Live TV, when the Instapot meal is overflowing. Yeah, and there's a couple of videos I have that start off with find your why. That's one of the things that I feel is so important. And with you having, talking about health problems, which is kind of why I started, like, I didn't even know that I was having health problems. I just thought I was on it to lose weight. And then all these cool things started happening where, my back pain went away, my allergies cleared up. And then I was like, I got to go tell everybody about this. So, what good meal are you having? Well, let's do that next. You say what you're having, then I'll tell you what I'm having tonight.
Well, hopefully, it's cooking. I don't know what C7 means, but then I kind of moved. I thought that I don't know why it was beeping. I've never heard that before. I'm making. I just threw in some beans and some rice and potatoes and some onions and some vegetable broth, because the last time I made something, I didn't put enough liquid in it. It was like soup, but it was very thick, and I messed it up. Sometimes I just throw in stuff, and sometimes it's a win and sometimes it's not, but it's kind of fun to experiment. This time, well, hopefully it's cooking. Well, I guess chapter two.
Well, that's the funny thing. I joke with people all the time. I've told you some of my debacles in the kitchen, and I always joke that's why I'm raw vegan and don't cook because I kept sitting this one week. I don't know what was wrong with me. I kept sitting like plates and stuff on the stove. Like we had these like Tupperware, I guess they were. I don't know what they were. Like some kind of green serving tray that came with the apartment when we moved in, and I had got it out because I was like, oh, that'll look nice, the green. I'm going to take a picture of my salad tonight. And I wasn't even for the stuff in the oven, but I forgot I had that burner on and didn't turn it off, and I had like that big hole in the green plate. Do you remember that? And I'm like, oh my goodness. I have definitely, I like blew up a Brussels sprout once in the microwave, and it was like pop all through the house and went all over. I don't know how I did that, but yeah, that's why I'm enjoying my fruit and veggies.
Oh
There's
my
no fire involved. How we started out eating our food in its natural state. I'm going all the way back to the basics with nature, right? Uh,
right. You're
I am
killing.
living indoors though, at least, right, for now, right, till I become a real minimalist, and it's like JJ's just in the woods.
That's funny. Well, yeah, we'll have to do a cooking show, but give us a couple years to get ready for
There
that.
you go. I've been having like the same thing all week. This week anyway, I've been having like when I get hung. Well, first of all, I have moringa leaf and water in the morning. A lot of people mix it in smoothies, and then for the next thing I've been drinking celery juice, which has been my new thing that I feel like has given me a lot of energy during the day and minerals. And I was barely had enough celery today. It was like, oh man, I had like um I guess it was like a couple like little stalks, but I don't know if you've ever juiced stuff, but you
Mhm.
need like kind of a lot of it to make a little bit of juice. So usually I just eat everything whole because it has fiber, and I don't really believe in juicing because of that, because I feel like the thing is put together perfectly. Like I don't feel like we need to really manipulate it that much because there's just enough fiber to like slow down your sugar from spiking. But celery has such a tough exterior that I read that it really opens up like all the minerals and like the really good nutrients you can get for your skin. And so I ended up saying, okay, I'm going to juice the celery, but it's like you need a lot of it to make a couple little, like we were joking last night, like sometimes we'll get done work and me and Dawn, I'll be like, how many shots do you need tonight? Like instead of alcohol, it's like celery shots, did you have a rough day? But it's like for two of those little shots, I need like almost a half of one of those whole stalks of celery, or like for, four of them, I guess, which would be a regular glass of celery juice. But luckily, that's not expensive celery. So that's cool. I've been keeping a lot of that. And then, like, after that, I have this powder. I don't have it right in here with me, but it's called Daily Green Boost. And hello, James. Welcome. He
I
said
do.
hello, JJ and MQ. Um, Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining. But I'll have Daily Green Boost. It's like a barley grass juice, and I've been mixing that with like three bananas. So the first day I ate it, it tasted like I did not like it. I'll put it that way because I tried it with one banana, but I didn't juice it or like blend the banana because the page that I found this on with Don Bennett, who comes on here, he was talking about how like if we drink it in liquid, it can go right through us basically and doesn't get to stop in the, I think it was small intestine or large intestine. I'll have to post the article, but he's like you should eat it with like actual food. So I like smashed up one banana, didn't like it, two bananas, and three bananas seems to two large or three little bananas does the trick. And it actually now I like crave it. It tastes so good. It's so weird how that can happen, like it's kind of like a sweet savory type taste, and I just eat it right down now. And it's really good for like giving you extra minerals, especially when you're on a raw diet. The moringa has like a lot of like iron and things like that in it, and I don't really eat a lot during the day, so those two things kind of boost me up, give me that energy. And then I've been eating like about 3 or 4 of those little oranges, those clementines, and then I'll eat some grapes. And then for dinner lately, I've been having like a couple of avocados and a like sometimes I'll put and then like lettuce and cucumber, and which is like avocado and cucumber are actually fruits too, which I didn't even know a long time ago. I was thinking they were vegetables. And then I'll have for dessert, and then sometimes I'll add other stuff to the salad, but that's pretty much the basis of it. Oh, and then the little compost from the celery. I've been excited because I'm like, that's my new salad topper. It's really good. And I was telling someone last night you could even make like a like you know how people make chickpea tuna salad?
Hmm.
You could use that and either put it in that or just use the celery. It actually tastes like if you put like probably plant-based mayo in it, you could make like a tuna salad or some type of salad like to put on top of salads and stuff. I just think it's good, whatever that little mix is, because I love celery. So maybe that's just me. And then I've been having last night. I usually eat one fruit at a time because it's better for digestion. But the last couple nights I've been hooked on this organic almond milk, plant pineapple, blueberries and banana in a smoothie. And I haven't really been fully blending it, just kind of like smashing it up with like a fork in there to like kind of get it stirred around, but it's still like got all the whole fruit in it.
Mm.
Mainly because I'm too lazy to get out this new food processor I got. It's so weird. I can't even figure out how to turn it on. My mom got me this really intelligent one, and I'm like still trying to play with it to put it together and figure out how it works. So I'm like, I might just have to pull my old blender out until I figure that thing out. At least I'm getting some manual labor and smashing the stuff up myself. I've got
Right.
a cup that goes in the freezer. I don't know if I showed that to you. You sit it in there and it's like you keep it, it gets cold, and then when you put your stuff in, it automatically turns to a slushy. It's like your
Ah,
ice cream. It's pretty cool.
that is cool. Yeah. If I'm looking back, I'm looking at the Instant Pot because nothing's happening with it. Give me one more second. You know what I would like for you to answer when I come back so you can think about this? So I have someone at church that wants recipes. Like, what are good links? Where can he find to make recipes? He's
Just
new vegan. So
mhm.
I'll be right back. I'm going to do something with the Instant Pot.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll think about that. There's so many different things. I know like Forks Over Knives has a lot of them. I think probably Diana could tell us too that she has a lot of things on her page. Everyone go check out her YouTube channel, Diana Plant Based. Then on my group we do on let's see, what date is it Wednesdays? I think, yeah, what I eat Wednesday. I think we do like a recipe share. There's some groups out there on Facebook like vegan and plant-based recipes, and it depends like what kind of recipes you're looking for too. Like if you're um interested in like whole food plant-based, no salt, oil, or sugar, Sherry Shrallow, she does a page. I know Chef AJ has a lot of recipes. um, but I'll send you a bunch of the sites that I've found. I found that when I did whole food plant-based, after a while it was easy to kind of make up your own because you're just like, you start to put things together. Like if you're doing rice and beans, you can use beans for like so many different things. Like if you're making a chili, um, some people use like walnuts to make like ground beef, or they use one of the plant-based ground beef. I know there's just, like I used to just put like rice in a thing and put like a bunch of vegetables and some beans and mushrooms, and like you can just make things that are really filling. And I used to make like a lot of potatoes, sweet potatoes, and there's a lot you can do. Um, and that's why I say there's so many different ways to do that. So I don't like to put things in a box just for me and how I think for healing. And like truly what I've learned over the last 5 years, for me, like I like eating foods without having with very minimal processing, like meaning not even cooking them in most cases, because I feel like you can get a lot of nutrients. But of course, Nancy was on my page who has a vegan restaurant and mentioned that some foods actually you can open up some additional nutrients by um, cooking them. And in some cases, that might be true. Most of the time, though, like the fruit based diet I'm on, there's not a whole lot of cooking you can do with fruit. So I don't like, unless you're making a pie, which we've all gotten in those modes, right?
Hmm. Okay, there was an explosion or something. So,
Oh,
not a
no.
giant explosion. I don't know how. I thought the Instant Pot wouldn't start unless you had the lid locked on. So I'm
I've
very
never
confused.
used one.
Huh?
I've never used the Instapot. I was just telling somebody about that.
I don't know how, but I saw some murky stuff. Murky because I was cooking some rice, right? And so it was like white. And I thought, oh my goodness, what's going on? But that's, anyway, now I've started again. And I think it hates me, but hopefully it'll be okay. So maybe I will be coming over to your house for dinner tonight. So we'll see.
That works. You can come over, have some salads with us.
Yeah.
There's grapes.
Gosh, now I'm understanding why you're
Got
eating them all.
plenty, right? I mean, there's so much stuff you can add in this diet too. Oh, I actually saw Menu make an appearance on camera for a second. She never comes out. She,
I
even
thought,
if I'm talking, she gets nervous. Like, who's that in the house? It's like, it's me. You ever had one of those like scaredy cats around? Well, you do like pet sitting sometimes, so I was like, that's another thing, like you were talking about too, is living in the moment that animals do. That like that made a lot of sense what you were saying when you said that, because I'm like, yeah, like we do so much overthinking and thinking about the future and thinking about what did I do yesterday and what should I do and am I doing enough? And it's like sometimes just to be and know that you're enough. And I think that's one of the things you teach with the vegan empowerment.
right, accepting who we are, right, and accepting that we're going to make mistakes. My goodness, and also not being afraid to ask our friends for help. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's, I mean, we all need help when it comes to um, living this human experience, right? And that's what friends are for. And to say, not to be ashamed that we need help or not to be ashamed of ourselves ever. Shame is debilitating, right? If you want to make money, you can't be living in shame, right? Most people want to make money, so I'm going to throw that out there. If you want to have a happy life, right? You don't want to be controlled by shame. You want to accept that we're perfectly imperfect, and that's exactly what you're saying about the animals and what I was saying too. I guess that they're not living in shame; they're just
Yeah,
moving on. Gosh,
they're just living like, they're like you said, they're getting something to eat. They eat when they're hungry. That's one of the things I was thinking too about, like when it comes to eating, like animals don't worry about how much they go over to that bowl, even if you have a domesticated animal, which is a little different because we've kind of conditioned them to eat at certain times. But like animals in the wild, they might go forage for food and then they'll eat. And like that's what, when someone was telling me about mono meals, like if they find a tree with a bunch of fruit, they don't say, oh, I might have one of these and then I'm going to go look for like something else. They'll eat until they're full when they find food, and then that's all they need, and then they're good for a while. Like I think we sometimes can put too much pressure on ourselves, and when we become vegan, sometimes we learn to just start listening to our body. And I want to welcome Diana Varner, plant-based, to the conversation. Welcome, welcome. How are you this evening?
I'm good, good.
hi Diana.
Hi. I'm just had a busy day today with some interruptions, but I eat late anyway, so it just I ate a little bit later than usual, but it's all good. I got my water.
Nice.
I'm not starving.
That's a good thing, right? I do that too. Like yesterday when we were on here, I did not eat until after we got off. And then I was so excited about these kind of conversations and having everyone on the panel that I just like started like putting it, sharing the pictures of it, and I'm like, Jen, you better eat. Like, come on, it's getting later. You're gonna cram all this food into like the last part of the night. It's gonna like, you're gonna run out of time before you're gonna go to sleep, and you're still gonna be hungry. But yeah, it was like some days though, like today I was hungry earlier. I didn't really eat a lot, but I ate some. I did the celery juice like already, like it's, well, I thought it was early for me anyway. Like I started getting hungry around like 12:30 in the daytime, and usually it doesn't happen till at least 2 or 3. So I don't know. It just, I think our body lets us know, like you were mentioning this last night for those that weren't listening. You were talking about, if you could mention that again, how you used to like, if you didn't eat, would get lightheaded, and now you don't.
Yes, I would seem like I would always have to have something with me, or something. I would get lightheaded, feel nauseous if I didn't eat within a certain period of time. So I'd always have to have something with me. I would have the peanut butter crackers or something with me because I just would feel lightheaded, like I was going to faint if I didn't eat periodically. But now it seems, like I said, it's just, I don't, it's not like I have to eat first thing when I wake up. I don't eat sometimes till 11, 12 o'clock.
Hmm.
Um, today it was almost noon. I think it was when I was sitting down to eat, and then I had a phone call that was something I had to take care of. So then I had to stop, go take care of that, and then come back to it. Which this morning, I mean, what I did eat was filling and satisfying because I had the oatmeal with banana, blackberries, blueberries, and I had Brussels sprouts.
Mm,
So that's what I've had.
that sounds
and
good.
I'm good to go, and I took my blood pressure again today just to check, because it was pretty low the other day. According to the device, it said it was low because it was 97 over 58, but today it was 104 over 64.
Oh, nice.
And it kind of reminds me of my blood pressure back in my younger days because I always had kind of what other people would say lower end of the blood pressure, but and then for me, high blood pressure was when it was 163 over 98, up like that, because that was out of my norm at one time. And I don't know if it was because it could have been because I wasn't eating right either, because that was when I stopped, went back to the sad eating. And I was under a lot of stress. It was right after I had moved across the country. And I was under a lot of stress, and I had wanted to go to this lifestyle medicine doctor thing. And when I went there, they checked my blood pressure and it was 198 over like 108. And they checked it again, and then it was like 200 over 197.
Mm,
And they're like, we can't treat with you until you get your blood pressure under control.
right.
And so I didn't go to the doctor. I just, you know, eventually I came back to the plant-based eating, but so I haven't been on blood pressure medicine since around 2016. But I just feel like that short span of the high blood pressure was stress, not eating right during that time. But now that I've been consistent for the last 4 months or so, I mean, it seems to be fine, you know. So
That's
Good.
awesome.
and
That's one of the things
almost
I love about hearing like those stories about this is because like, people that think they have to live on medications forever, it gives people hope, because I hear stories like yours and Ed Logan who they were mentioning last night on here who is runs Fruit for Your Life. He actually has reversed, his high blood pressure, and that's one of the things. He lost a lot of weight, and I'm just like so happy to put this information out there to help people know that that's possible, that you can do it a different way. So congratulations on that.
absolutely. Thank you.
And like, what are you having to eat this evening, since we know Mariquita's blowing up her kitchen in there with a nice Instapot meal?
I'll be back.
Oh, usually I have like tonight, I don't really have anything planned out, but I'm probably going to have for myself, I'm probably going to have a baked potato and some vegetables or a sweet potato.
That sounds good. We have a friend here coming in. Oh,
Yes.
I thought someone was making the appearance.
Oh, hold on just one second.
Take your time. We've got live TV here. Diana is busy with her kids and grandkids, right? Angela, I was just typing you a message, but now I can say I'm going to put my email on here too. If you want, I can send you some tips to beginning your vegan journey. And that way I can answer any other questions that you might not have if you're still here. It's jjveganology@gmail.com. I'll put it in the notes here. If anyone needs anything, email me with a question. I try to check it every day, but really it comes up and notifies me. So as long as I don't have too many messages and it's kicking them out, then I can answer. And then, of course, the Facebook page link is in the description too. So, and then here on YouTube, you can always click on the link and come on and ask questions, because Diana, she's been plant based for a while now, right? So I've been plant based. We've done probably different versions of this diet all like throughout the years. Like I know you've probably done whole food plant based, and and I don't know that you've delved into the raw diet, but you've probably tried some of the vegan, processed foods. But I noticed you come up with some really good creations too. And like there's just something to eating that healthy whole food. It just does something to your body when we truly know how we're designed to eat. Like when I look at that comparative anatomy, I know that we're not carnivore now, so it resonates. It makes sense. I'm not like listening to somebody tell me do this diet or do this many carbs, or it's just really has simplified things for me. I don't have to measure out 2 cups of this and 1 cup of this. It's like, okay, just don't eat this, and this, and you can eat all the rest of it. And there's so many combinations. I think people think it's going to be restrictive. Like even raw vegan, like where I am, it's not restrictive because there's still tons of fruits I haven't even tried, So it's like so exciting when you find something you like or a version of it. And I know like you've really been putting together like some really good things too, and sharing them like on a budget on your Facebook page and everything, and on YouTube. I'm like, I love that, because some people think vegan is expensive. It's really not. It's the cheapest diet I've ever been on, honestly, even especially when eating standard American diet. Now it can get expensive if you try to buy all the plant-based meats. I think you can
Right.
just get,
Getting
I mean,
the
let's have
process
meals. Yeah.
and that's the thing is just, just because it's vegan doesn't mean it's healthy. It depends on what it is, because there's a lot of high fat things also in some of the processed vegan foods. So, but I think it's a good transition food, for ones that's transitioning from, the standard American diet to plant-based.
Hmm.
I think that's a good
And we know
transition.
your little one loves those vegan chicken nuggets. He came on and told us
Yeah.
last night, guys. It was so cute.
Yes, and so I have some of those things to try to, if I'm gonna fix them something, I'll throw in some stuff, that they don't realize that's the plant-based. Like, I'll even use the plant-based crumbles.
Yeah, the Gardein
I call
ones.
them soft. So, the Gardein crumbles or the Boca crumbles,
Hmm.
um, as hamburger meat, and they haven't
It's
noticed,
like it
and
can be in their head. Like I notice if I tell someone
Mhm.
something's vegan, you can tell they're trying to taste for something that's not meat. But I'm like, meat itself never would taste good if it was just like dead rotting flesh on the plate and you didn't put spices and seasoning and cook it. Like it's the same thing, you know? So I think that the I was just looking at Marakita. She said she's going to be a few more minutes. Oh, you're already back. I was reading your message. I can't talk and obviously read at the same time, can I? I'm not going to do that anymore. That's why I don't have a teleprompter, right? Um, what was I talking about? Do you remember? I can't remember what I was even saying before that. I was looking at your message about the food. Uh
You
oh,
gotta rewind.
Diana left us.
I'm sorry that I had to leave, but yeah. Anyway,
Angela, that said she feels so accepted. I think I'm on the right path of healing. Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to have met you, and I hope we can continue to, help you in the group and everything, and just being around like-minded people. And if you need help, Marakita is a coach, and I can help you with the like more of the the food and the also like kind of what worked for me, and we can all give you tips and everything, and it's cool. I love that about vegan groups, don't you?
yeah. I mean, it's really, and yeah. I mean, your group is always moving on Facebook, and I'm really trying to keep mine moving too. Um, so, and I'm having a group coaching starting soon in February. February 7th is the planned date. So that's going to be fun. Again, learning from animal wisdom. And
Yes, I'm excited about that, and I've got the link will be in the description for that for anybody who wants to join.
yeah, we need people that, if people are afraid or not feeling confident or you have a goal, right, that's what we work on in the coaching program. So,
Thank you. Angela told me because I was having an old lady moment here and forgot what I was talking about. I was talking about the people. Oh, right. Like I was saying, like how good vegan food can taste. If someone, though, you can tell if you say, hey, this is something vegan I made for you. And they will, especially if it's somebody in your family, they don't have any allergies of something you're giving them. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, try this. This is vegan sausage, or this is vegan, and they'll be like, yeah, it's good, but something don't taste right. But if you tell them that same food and don't tell them, they'll say, oh, this tastes good. How did you make that? Somebody was just talking about, I forget, was it on my Facebook group, that they made their husband, like, was it the Gardein meatballs or the beef Beyond Meat tips or something, and their family didn't even know. Like you said, like it's it's amazing the what you can do, like with food, and then like your taste also changed to love the taste of like whole foods, right? Um like it starts the other stuff starts to taste like too salty, and like like chips and stuff are just like your body doesn't want them, believe it or not. But when you're in that zone of eating unhealthy, you'll never believe you can get there. But even like with me not eating anything cooked, it's like now my body craves that. It feels like the cooked food is more dehydrated or something. So it's like whatever you're into and you start putting in your body, you want more of. Like if you're not used to eating, and like when you're eating whole food plant-based, I used to love potatoes. Like we were talking about that. Potatoes are actually not bad for you. So like you can learn to like the taste of potatoes with your plant-based products instead of all the junk we put on them. So there's just I don't know, like it just amazes me how many people are misguided when it comes to that. Like they think that vegan food doesn't taste good or that it's boring.
I have a question. How long, I can't remember off the top of my head, how long does it take for your taste buds to change?
I have heard some people say like it can happen within a week, but I think it's every so many years. Isn't that the technical thing? Your taste buds really do change. That's why we like stuff that we didn't like as a kid.
Yeah, but yes, yes, I've heard that too. But like when you change foods, like I
For
think
me,
1 or
okay.
2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard, but I can't remember exactly. But still, I think we're right there. I mean, it doesn't take that long.
Even if you switch from like I've switched from like getting on kicks where I really had a lot of processed food around the holidays. Just most recently, I was hooked on like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and those plant-based chicken patties and bread and everything. And I had been raw before, and I should have never done that because I've done it a couple of times, and I end up feeling bad. My digestion suffers, and it took me, I think, on my third day back to being raw, I was craving my raw dinner. But on that first day, I was struggling because I was like, I was just a little irritable because I wanted that stuff that I was addicted to. I wanted that salt and I wanted that sugar and I wanted those cookies that I had been having. And then the second day, I kind of was getting a little easier, but I powered through and just kept eating my good stuff because I watched a video of myself on Facebook Live or on here, I forget, talking about how good I felt and how my skin was soft and I was feeling energy. And like I had, it's almost like you should keep a journal, or like if you do videos, even if you don't want to put them out, do them for yourself because you realize how good you felt and you like want to get back to that. Have you guys ever experienced that?
Well, yeah, and you're replacing. So like the reward, might be feeling like the reward is you're eating it and you're mindfully knowing, hey, I know what this is. It's not the reward of feeling that dopamine hit. I mean, the dopamine hit is great, but you're thinking of a bigger reward, which is feeling, full of life. So you're changing that, this craving to what's gonna happen. You see the craving, right? And okay, now you have a choice. You have to say, oh my gosh, I just want that dopamine hit, or do I want real happiness, which is feeling energetic and, I mean, it's about mindfulness. And yeah, what you did was great because you changed it. You brought the awareness in of not the short term pleasure, but the long term pleasure.
And the short term pleasure, I think initially to start has to be, I don't want to do this anymore. Like when you start to feel guilty every time you eat something, you know it's time to change your diet, right? Because that's not even fun either. When you like, you get all the way through the day and you're trying to do good and on your meal plan or whatever, and then you eat and you do something that you shouldn't have ate, and then it's like, oh, I ruined it like that, you know. But all you can do is start over. That's what I kept doing. Like for a couple days leading up to that, to the 1st of January, I was like, I would eat all day good, and then at night I still couldn't, like, if Dawn was ordering out, I'd be like, you know what, yeah, just get me one too, get Impossible Burger now, and then I started like, I'm like, how did this happen? I was sitting here with my big thing of fruits and veggies all last month while she was eating these burgers, and it did not bother me. But all of a sudden now I need vegan burger when she has one. So it obviously was my mind shift. So I just had to shift my mind back. And the cool thing is now she, after me doing it for 2 weeks, she was like, I think I'm ready to do it. And now she's been raw for like 7 or 8 days now, or 9. And it's like sometimes you can change the people around you just by not pushing, but by being an example.
Exactly.
Diana's got her whole family almost plant based over there. Tell us who it is now. It's like grandmom and right, or mom, or who was it? And your daughter.
My mom, my daughter, and the kids will have some things, um, that way. But and then my fiance, he does some things plant based. Um, so we're working on him. He's he's a diabetic type 2, so he's had some issues with that and some things. So he's actually been having more, not 100%, but I mean, he's been having the beans and the potatoes and, veggies and salads, stuff like that.
That's good. The more that he can get in him, the more like he'll get used to those things and maybe introduce even more of them. Because I don't think a lot of people know that it's actually the fat. That's one of the things I've got that video on my page about, the one that says why you can reverse type 2 diabetes, because you can. Um, it's like the saturated fat in our diet is clogging up basically where the sugar needs to go. So, like, when we're young, it goes in our bloodstream and it goes into our muscle and liver cells, and then it's gone. So it's not in our blood. But over time, eating the standard American diet and the high saturated fat, it clogs those up so that the insulin, can't let it in. That's basically like the key that lets those sugars in. And it's like the locks are blocked. I always equate it to, or like the drain is clogged. And if you don't unclog the drain of the fat, then once you do that, your sugars will go where they're supposed to. Even if you can cut down on your fat, you can start to do that. And that's why some people are like, well, if you just do low carb, that controls your sugar. But it's like, then you're still not controlling the problem of it, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, keto can make it seem like it's getting better, but you're still putting saturated fat in. So until you get rid of most of the fat, you're going to then be able to eat what you used to without having to monitor your sugar all the time. And and just doing that, not having to be on the medication and stuff, if that can be the reward of that. It's not like, and I think change is really hard, though. You know what I mean? Like getting out of our comfort zone, because like it's like you feel like you're not going to have any fun, or you're not going to be able to enjoy food, and it's cool to know, like, if you can just get someone to try it for 30 days, I feel like, and see that it tastes good and you start feeling good, it really
Right.
makes a difference. So I commend you for including plant based in his, diet now.
And even though some of it is processed, the but it's a transition.
Yeah.
I've got the plant-based butter because he likes to have butter. So I feel
It's
like
still less
at least,
cholesterol, right?
yes, yes. So but what I'm trying to say to people, is don't think about the things you can't have. Think about all the good things that you can have. And then, like, I've heard somebody say, okay, you start out, don't change, you don't have to change anything about the way you eat. Just eat more of this, like practically like a preload. Eat these things prior to you eating your hamburger, you know.
Hmm.
So eat some vegetables, eat some, have a soup or a salad prior to this meal, because then you're going to fill up on some of those things and eat less of the others, hopefully,
Right.
crowd those out. But I just say focus on the good things. There's so many good things. Eating this way, doesn't have to be boring. It's not just lettuce and tomato, that's it. It's it's just like when I stopped drinking sodas and sweet tea, I used to make sweet tea that would be almost like syrup. It was so sweet. And I was a Coca-holic, I had to have my Coca-Cola, and I would be angry if somebody drank the rest of it and it was gone. But once I quit drinking sodas and I got off the aspartame and the artificial sweeteners, and then one time I tried some yogurt, and the minute I tasted it, because it said fat free, it had aspartame in it, and it's like that's all I could taste was the aspartame. And then it's like now, if I have tea, it's unsweet tea, I can taste the tea.
Right.
Right.
And and if I have had a sip in the past of a soda, oh, it's just
Too
like,
sweet.
"Oh, how could anybody drink it? It's so sweet."
Yeah.
And
I'm like that with
so
salt a lot of times too.
or same with salt and same with oil, like, if I've gone out or, and I've had some soup or something at a restaurant that has the oil in it, I mean, it feels like I put Vaseline on my lips.
Right. It's so wild. You can pick that stuff out. It's like this isn't human food, like all of a sudden, right? Like you can tell like it's ultra processed. Even when I like feel like I've wanted salt on something, I sprinkle maybe a very little pinch, like but now I think about how I used to, if I had potatoes or something, it was like, a couple of shakes of that. And then sometimes I'd have to re up on the salt and pepper. I've never been a huge salt person, but there have been times when it just like, depending on what you're eating, your taste again gets used to it. So when you're eating all that salty stuff, you don't realize how salty it is. Take yourself off of it for a week or two, and you like the sugar and the. I think I took a drink of Dawn's lemonade once and almost like fell off my chair. It was so sweet, and the like in the spring last year, because I was like, oh, let me a drink of that. I'm thirsty. And oh my goodness, it was crazy. I was like, how in the world are you drinking this? But now she would probably think the same thing because she stopped drinking sugary drinks too. So I'm like, I need to take her back to that place and say, hey, take a drink of that.
Okay. Hmm.
So tell us, what do you guys have going on? So I know you got the coaching coming up, Marakita, and what
Yeah.
else is going on with you?
Well, I've just got the group coaching, and well, I'm doing stuff here in Atlanta, but yeah, it's going to be fun because every time we have a group of people and we have close connections, and that's how I ended up getting that the E Cornell program is because someone in my group, knew how to get it the scholarship. So I mean, these are connections we make for life. So and it's going to be fun and powerful, overcoming the limiting beliefs again, and 12 weeks with your goal in mind, whatever it is, we keep you on track, and it's just fun. That's all. That's really what's going on right now for me. Well, a billion other things, but forest bathing, studying that and studying about animal wisdom, studying about laughter yoga and facilitating it and doing that. And good grief, I don't know what
She's a
else.
busy woman. She's always into like, I mean, she'll be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Working." "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I've got this certification and that. I'm going to the church to do my animal ministry, and then I've got to go take a course to be a monk or something." I'm just kidding.
You're funny, but yeah, I do have
Coming
to.
so zen. She's just going to be able to
Yeah,
meditate us all out here.
right. I'll vibrate off the screen. But no, I have to go in a minute because I've got two little dogs that want to be fed their food, and they're getting angry.
I appreciate you coming in. And if anybody's interested in the vegan empowerment coaching, go to the links will be in the description if you want to connect with her page. She's a really good spiritual guide, someone that can listen to you and help you along, especially the journey of, I feel like vegan, the food is one thing when you change, but a lot of it has to do with our mindset and like the stages of it we go through, because I feel like at first you can be all excited about it. And then I was talking about this last night. One of the reasons I wanted to do these, because you can also feel isolated because like you're at work and everybody there is not vegan, or you might have family like, Diana, your family is not all completely 100% focused and vegan like you. So you may not have people always in your regular life, and it can start to feel like maybe I'm wrong. But we know that we're a small minority percentage that's doing the best thing for animals and our health. So the more people we can talk to and get around and get in groups, that's one of the things. I started this because I watched a YouTube video. So if we can be that person for someone else, and share our own personal journey. Sometimes people don't need a plant based doctor, they just need somebody who's been through it and who can talk with them through it and say, what, okay, now I'm excited about it. Now I'm struggling. Now I'm like at a point where I'm now getting mad because I realize what people did, what I didn't know. You can go through like the anger stage, and then like you come back and you want to like tell everybody in the world right away as soon as they tell you they're eating something. It's like, nope, that's not vegan. You know what that's doing to you, and you go through that phase, and then you kind of settle in where it's like, okay, I can just do what I can, put my journey out there. Hey, what's going on? I see someone here called Facebook user. I bet I know who you are, but you're just coming through for some reason on Restream as Facebook user. So, Diana, also, could you tell us what you have going on? You doing some, oh, yeah, the guilt, right? Marakita mentioned in the chat here. There's also a lot of guilt that can come from that last stage, right? I think that's one of the things you can help people with.
Yeah, they feel guilty, like, and they feel like they have to watch the documentaries to torture themselves. The animals feel pain. Now I have to feel pain. Oh my goodness. So yeah, there's a lot of things to work on.
Oh, it's Michelle. Hey, Michelle. Thank you for joining. I'm sorry, Diana. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I just am trying to work on some certifications as well, and just try to get things prepped up and prepared. I didn't get to do that yesterday, but I have a lot of things around here that are quick and easy to put together anyway. And then this weekend, there's actually, I think it's a part of, is it the PCRM? They have a plant pod group, and there's one out here. It's the Phoenix, and they're having an event Saturday. There's a doctor out there going to give a talk Saturday for about an hour. So hopefully I can make that,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just so good to meet other like-minded people and just have that community. That's why I just enjoy this so much with you guys. So
I
it's
thank you
just
for
having
coming
that
Yeah.
camaraderie, even
Right.
though we're so far
Cheers.
many miles away from each other, we can still come together like this and empower each other, you
Yeah.
know, along our journey. So,
And I think that's what's cool about it is the world today is so connected. Like we can talk. I've interviewed people like from Australia and um gosh, there was someone really, really far away that was on they were in a different date than me when I talked to them. They were like in a completely different, time. Well, it was like I was in a time warp. Who was it? I think it was, yeah, it might have been the last, like 2 Sundays ago. It was like Sunday and Monday was my birthday. And I was like, oh, wait, it's already my birthday where she is over there so I can celebrate sooner, right? It was Diana's birthday too. That's right. We have the same birthday, we always say. It was so weird, because I remember her saying, I have a birthday coming up. I'm like, oh, yeah, me too. It's in January. And she's like, yeah, mine too. And I'm like, oh, well, mine's on the 15th. She's like, me too. I'm like, get out of here. That's
and we found out we both like turtles, turtle symbols, and
I gotta tag you in this picture my mom shared with me. I think I tagged you, Marakita. It was a house made of a turtle. I'll have
Oh, yes,
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
can
take
get
a screenshot of it. It's so wild. It's like the house is built, but the turtle shell is like over top of it. I'm like, that's the house I definitely need. That would be really cool.
it. Cool. Yeah, I want to
I
see
don't
it.
know if you live in a neighborhood that has like what is it, like a homeowners association, if I could live in a turtle, but I would certainly give it a try, right? Have to be kind of off the grid with that one, I'm sure. My neighbors will be like, I don't want the turtle house in my neighborhood. Michelle said it was Ann Osborne. Oh, that's right. That's who it was.
Mm. All right. Well, I'm jumping off, y'all. I'm sorry to leave, but the dogs are hating me, so I must go. Well, actually, they're probably, they're just hungry. So,
Yes, well, the animals are, that's what we're all here for. So we got to tend to the animals. Tell us really quick how long you've been vegan and vegetarian, like over many years, right?
I
So
don't know. 95 is when my brother and I watched Meet Your Meat.
meet your meat. That's a good one we could do. Like, what was our thing that transformed us? I like that.
Right. And then then I went vegan and vegetarian back and forth. So I don't really even know. I don't know, but I like where I am now, and yeah, very stable, very good foundation here. So
Very good spiritual journey that you've been on, and you've got lots of experience to empower us. So I appreciate you joining with your wisdom and your knowledge and your calming spirit.
well, thanks both of y'all and everyone. Please, yeah, please subscribe to all of our channels and all of our Facebook groups.
It
Because
definitely helps us a lot to get the
yeah,
word out. And you've got some cool interviews coming up.
right. And then also, I mean, we need each other, right? I mean, I go to Unity Church and unity, right? We need each other to be strong. We can't do this by ourselves. So please join us. We'll help you. What are your groups? Tell us and we'll join. Or, how we can help you. That's what we're here for. So that's enough of my little spiel. Thank you so much, ladies. And
Thank you. If
everybody,
anybody's here, and please like Marakita's page and group and YouTube channel before you leave, and post yours. That's a good idea, Marakita. Everybody post theirs after the video's over. If you post in the comments, that way they'll stay there, because I think these disappear. So even if you like, you know what I mean, like afterwards, if you're on your, it's on your channel too, right? So you can
yeah,
comment it there and comment it here. So that'd be cool. And go
right.
check out Diana Varner Plant Based. That's the name of yours, right? We got Marakita Soli's Vegan Empowerment and Diana Varner Plant Based.
Yes.
And of course, click my little subscribe too.
Right.
Thank you, Marakita.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
And so now you're in the hot seat. I did that to Dawn yesterday. You can never
Where is
leave.
she?
On her live stream. She might be finishing up soon. I was going to do this earlier, and then I ended up having to work later because I wanted her to be able to come too. But sometimes after she's on there for 12 hours on, Zoom, and then she goes right into her live stream, I know it's a lot to do this at 7. Plus, I'm getting like zonked out at 7 when she gets done. So it's like I try to do it earlier, but sometimes that means on weekdays. That's why I like to do Saturday, sometimes evening, and Sunday is a good day because I have off the whole day, and so does she. So at some point we can both jump on there without having someone have been working for 12 hours and now on their 13th hour. I'm like, come on, let's go live with lots of music. But thank you for coming on here because I think it's important to have real people with real journeys and just kind of, talking about it, because we can watch all these videos of people who have like all these, books and programs and things out sometimes, and it's good, but you don't get real interaction. Or, if there's like 250 people watching on a live stream, your question might get answered, but then it might not, and so
Yeah.
sometimes having that personal, like being able to be on live and ask your questions and like come on, and if you get brave enough, click the link like you did and come up here and talk about your journey. Just in case people missed last night, you had started the YouTube channel, but you just started really, I noticed, being really putting a lot of content out consistently here lately, and you're on the what is it, the Chef AJ thing? How's that going? Still rebooting?
Oh, yes, it's going good. I've lost 7 pounds. No, 7 pounds this year. I've lost 5 since I started, and today is day.
Nice.
Which
I
day?
should have got that bell. Ding ding.
I even bought me a little journal. It's a food journal that I'm keeping track of my foods. I'm keeping track of my weight and everything I eat. And so um, now I have gone down. Your weight's going to fluctuate. And I know some people don't.
Don't drive yourself crazy, Wayne. I used to do that. I'd weigh myself every day, and now I don't even do it because it got, or at least wait a week or two
Yeah.
before you weigh yourself.
I mean, some people recommend you don't weigh but once a week. I was in another program. It was To Be Mindset, that is from Beachbody, that I did. and they tell you to weigh every day. So it's not really that you don't really go by the scale every day, because you're going to fluctuate based on
Mhm. How much
you
water
know
you drink
how
sometimes.
yeah the what you drink, what you eliminate, just if you did you have more sodium today than
Don't
yesterday.
get us on that kick again about elimination. We had the Game of Thrones last night. You got to check that one out if you haven't watched it. We kind of got on a tangent, all four of us up here, about our elimination, how good it was.
But it does give you an idea of possibly what you've had to eat can affect your weight. Now, last night we did go out to eat. I did order the charo whole beans, and verified with them no meat was in it. They said they're vegetarian, which I said no cheese. So, and then I did get a side of rice and a side salad with
Mhm.
pico de gallo on it. I use salsa for my dressing.
Nice.
I had pico de gallo on my beans. Um, so that's what I had eating out.
Yeah.
So I
So
feel
what
like,
was the main thing again? You had the rice, and what was the other thing you said?
and
I know
of course,
the
it was
beans.
Mexican food.
Right.
Um,
We know she doesn't eat anything but Mexican food if she does that.
oh, I love it. I love it. Um, I had the charro beans, which was the whole pinto beans,
That's what you were saying. I love pinto beans when I was eating that.
and the Spanish rice, and a salad.
And
And
that's one that we could do too, about our choices when you go out, making the right decisions. Because it's easy to just say, well, I'm out, I'm just going to cheat. But you can still have something good, but tweak it.
right. And sometimes, I've taken my own carrot chips. It was kind of a last minute deal about going out. So, but sometimes I've taken my carrot chips with me, or cucumbers, to dip in the salsa. So I chose not to eat any chips while we were there. I didn't have any chips. The only salsa that I had was on my salad.
All
Um,
right. Congratulations on that.
thank
It
you.
starts to get easier, I think, right? Like it doesn't seem so difficult when we're on that path and we're feeling good about it, because the chip would have probably tasted really salty. And like when I eat salty stuff now, I don't know if this happens to you, it dries my mouth out. Like it feels like I'm constantly thirsty. Like when I'm eating this way, I have to literally tell myself to take a drink of water sometimes, because I'm eating so much water dense like fruits and vegetables. But like if you eat something processed, it's like immediately I feel dehydrated. So I can imagine what it's doing to my body. Like we need a little bit of salt, because and some like vegetables have more sodium than others, but that's one of the reasons I do the celery juice, because that's like more of a natural sodium, because you don't want to like, and that I just wanted to answer Angela's question real quick. And you can talk about this too. Did you detox when you became vegan, and if so, what symptoms did you experience? um like I think I'm trying to remember, because it was 5 years ago now, but I know I'm gonna say like initially most of the stuff that happened to me was good. Like I felt a lot of energy. I may have like on the third or fourth day felt like for some reason like a little tingliness sometimes in my limbs, or like even a slight, very slight like headache. But that could have been because I was also I went from coffee to tea, to like cold black tea at that point. So I think part of that might have been I didn't have as much caffeine in my system, and that might have been the detox. But as far as like detox for me, I didn't feel that much. Now there are people who do like a like specifically now, who if you're eating straight standard American and you do like all grapes. That's one that I hear you can get some detox symptoms. You'll notice sometimes it might affect your like you might go to the bathroom a little bit more, or even if you're eating too much roughage, it might have the opposite effect if you're used to eating a different way. Like it might change there, but eventually that will all steady out, you know. So like for me, I recommend if you're just starting, and especially if you're going raw, to eat a lot more fruit than like like, you know, like a lot of the, like you can still eat lettuce and stuff, but like if you just constantly put all of that in after eating standard American diet, you're going to feel that in your stomach, you know what I mean?
I
So
know. I've had some people, they'll say, "Oh, if I ate all that salad you eat, I'd be in the I'd be in the bathroom all day."
it's
They'd
like
be it'd just go through them. They say, when
it's
they
like
have
that's a good thing
salad.
though. That's the point. We're supposed to be cleaning out. Like our the meat stays in our system for so long. Like our body was meant to get that stuff in and get all the nutrients out of it and then eliminate it. It's our digestive tract is really long. Like a carnivore's is really short, so they can get the meat in, the meat out. But ours, it's that's what's part of the problem is it's staying in our system. The acidity level is causing acid reflux, and it's almost like your body though, like it almost reminds me of a if you're on like drugs, or me and you both gave up alcohol, so like your body wants you to stay addicted to what it's eating because that's what you've been giving it. So detox symptoms is really just the body healing itself and kind of getting used to the new way of eating. I think what people mistake like detox out of, right? Like
And I think like I've heard many say is the sugar, like I remember as even growing up as a kid, like I had said to somebody how I would the candy. I mean, I just loved the candy and the sweets. And then I was baking cookies and cakes, and then and I had drank back in the day, and then I went 20 something years without drinking alcohol, and then I brought it back in. But I feel like that I've replaced, back then when I quit the alcohol, I replaced it with cakes and cookies and candies and
replace it with something else
the
that was
sweets.
yeah.
And then, but I know since I've transitioned, even though I wasn't 100% all these years, I've been a pretty good amount, 80% here, and I've eliminated a lot of the sugars. Even though I wasn't 100%, I got so used to not having sweet stuff that when I would have something sweet, it would be so sweet. Because I used to, if I would eat a piece of cake, I would eat the frosting and leave the cake. Well, then I got to where I would eat the cake, leave the frosting. But
Right.
it doesn't even bother me now whether, I mean, there's ice cream in the house that other people eat. It doesn't even bother me that it's there because I don't go get it.
That's not your food, you know?
It
It's like how animals know what their food is, like, you know, like there are animals in the wild that could see a bunch of different stuff, but they're not gonna eat that if that's not what they're meant to eat. It's like we have gone so far away from our normal, like, need like, when we look at a piece of fruit, that's what we really want. An animal walking down the street, we don't wanna sink our teeth into it, but we've gotten so confused that, you know, but like you said, once you eat healthy, I could go to my mom's for like holidays and I see what they're eating, but I don't touch it and I don't want to. You know, I
right.
remember that it was good and I remember her cooking was excellent, you know. I just that's not what I eat anymore, you know. I don't eat dairy, I don't eat meat. So it's just a shift in our mindset that takes that away, where initially it might have been hard. Once you get into it, um, there was one thing before I forget, because we all know I forget things. I wanted to say right before you go back into that, about the detox is don't mistake detox to think this isn't meant for my body, because it is meant for your body. Like from like tons of 5 years of research, we are supposed to eat this way. We're not supposed to eat dairy and meat. So if you're experiencing something, make sure that you're getting all the right nutrients in, you know. And I'm not saying if you're getting a bad detox symptom not to go to the doctor. But you know, oh, and I'll read your message here in just a second. Michelle, too. But I think also it's important to make sure that you're taking B12, and that you're taking. I take vitamin D, and here's why. Really quick, if you're eating, I learned this from the live I did with Don Bennett when he said the essential nutrients you can get less of on a vegan diet, because like when we're eating a lot of processed foods, like if you eat processed cereal, for example, they put vitamin D, like they spray it on there. And
Fortify
you're
it.
also getting all the bad stuff that comes along with a lot of that stuff, but they're fortifying the food. So, like, if you stop eating bread that might have, vitamin D in it or whatever you're or milk, you're getting healthy because you're not eating all that saturated fat, you're not eating all the sugar and cereal and the grains that are clogging you up. But you're also, if you eat oatmeal that's like steel cut oats, for example, or you're eating a whole fruits and vegetables and unprocessed foods and potatoes and stuff, that's not being sprayed with anything, or the meat's not being injected with B12 and stuff. So you want to make sure you're getting those nutrients, because a lot of people will get healthier, and for a long period of time, if you go without B12, that's not good, either. So it's like you just want to make sure it's well rounded, because then if you do it right, you won't have any symptoms, and you'll feel better than ever, and you won't be having the health issues you're having. But it's like, some people would take that as, oh, the doctor said now my vitamin D is lower. Well, that might mean you're not getting out in the sun, because vitamin D doesn't come in food anyway. So it's like, people always want to blame something. I'm just preparing you as a new vegan to get ready for that. If you tell somebody you're eating vegan, they're going to automatically say, are you getting enough protein? We hear that a lot. So, do your own research too. And like, I have a lot of videos that I've done on this, but once you buy into it and and you've read all the stories and you've read people that are healing from this, and you understand how the body works and your digestion, you won't have to trust what this person says or that person says, and read a bunch of articles, because be careful who they're paid for by.
Mm-hmm.
Some might be sponsored by, especially if it's mainstream, might be sponsored by the meat and dairy industry. Because
Right.
obviously, I feel like the everything's a business in a lot of cases. Like people, doctors, they know how to manage these symptoms, but they don't always know about nutrition, how to get to the root cause of it, and that's where a lot of the alternate, things that I've been able to be blessed to find on YouTube have. Michelle is talking about her detox symptoms. I pooped a lot, but wait a minute, what? Let me read that. I pooped a lot, but did I say poop on YouTube? Um, but I used to go once every 5 days, but started feeling great almost immediately. Now doing raw juicing and only fruit, I've felt some detox symptoms like being tired, headaches, and feeling achy all over my body. Yeah, like if you're doing the juicing and like a straight like detox, you definitely could have some of those symptoms. But once you come out of it, most people feel really a lot better. And I don't think we realize how much we're supposed to really go to the bathroom, because we're all so constipated when we're eating the regular diet. And I feel like that it's really, like, I've been reading a lot about the natural hygiene, and the most important thing, the reason we have more energy when we're plant-based is because we expel so much energy to digest food. We were talking about this last night too, that the easier we can be on our digestion and put things in that we're supposed to eat, like, it really does make a difference. Because if you look at all the chemicals and stuff we're eating, when you just, like, anything you buy in the store, like I bought those over the holidays, like those cookies, those Len and Larry's cookies, and like organic, even if you make your own cookies, I would assume, or almond milk has almonds, maybe salt and vanilla in it, right? That's all I would think is in almond milk. It's a list of, like, even processed plant-based milk, sometimes all these words I can't pronounce. So yeah, I think one of the good things about it is you will feel a lot better about going, like, being able to go to the bathroom regularly. If you've had problems with that, you'll notice that eventually, like over a period of time, your skin will start to clear up. You If you have a bunch of mucus and you wake up congested, I don't wake up like that anymore like I used to, because that I realized was the dairy causing it, you know.
Right.
More energy. I feel like also I've become more compassionate. I don't know if that's the word, like almost more social in a way, because I feel like when you feel better about yourself, you want to tell other people, you know, and share good things with them. And you were going to tell me about that sugar you were eating, and I cut you off to answer her question. You were telling us about, okay, so you used to eat this the
Oh, about eating sweets and sugar. Yeah, I used to bake sweets and treats and all that. But it's when I started eliminating that, I'm more I tend to go more savory now. And just I just can't have, if I taste that super sweetness, I can't have much of that. It's just so sweet.
your taste changed.
Yeah.
And how long did that take when you do you remember, just so that we could let her know like how long, um like when I've switched around between the diets, it took me only about 3 days, sometimes maybe 5, to get in that new zone, you know, to like
Yeah.
get out of it. And if you've been just eating sweets though and standard American, it's going to take longer. That's just me flopping from raw
It
to cooked.
seems like I really noticed it was when I did that 6 weeks, where I went 6 weeks, and even then I wasn't perfect, but it seems like that's when I noticed the bulk of the changes in my taste and the things that I was eating,
Hmm.
um, because I was eliminating the salt as well. So, it's when I would have something, especially eating out, I it's like it's it's like it's so salty, it's how and then I want to know, some of these things that they cook with the oils and the salt, why do they think it needs that, you
Yeah,
know?
it's like they put unnecessary stuff in that didn't need to go there. When you cook your own stuff or you make your own food, it's like that didn't even need to go in there. Like, why did you have to throw that in, all that
And
stuff? And a lot of it is because that stuff needs to sit on shelves or sit in a restaurant and they need to preserve it. So, like salt, I think I was reading the reason even they started using salt was to preserve meat, because that's not supposed to stay good when you have raw meat. It's just, that's why
right.
animals eat the darn thing while it's alive or whatever, that are really carnivores. They don't let it sit around. So like I think that's why they have to make stuff so salty. Like if something never goes bad, that's not truly real food if you think about it, right? Like it's a little scary that I can get a an orange and you can only let it sit out for so long. It's going to go bad because it's living food, but I don't know what they're putting in some of this stuff that could, stay on the shelves for 3 and 5 months. It must be putting, I think that's why a lot of those chemicals go in it to keep it.
I know, and then you look at something and you're like, "What is this?" And you have to Google the name to even
Mhm.
know what it is.
It's like, should we really be eating that? Which company are you getting your vitamin D and B12 from? Let's see. Um, this is not even the one I had last time because Dawn bought other ones, but we split it up. But this was called, I think I just got this from the store. It was like Simple Truth or something. I just usually get it off Amazon. And this is the B12 Nature's Bounty that I've been using, 2,500 milligrams.
That's
And
what
then
I get.
Daily Green Boost, I've been taking the barley grass too, and the moringa, which is, do I have that around? No, I don't have the box because we put it in a like something that seals it, because it comes in those bags like the moringa powder. But I hate using those bags with the Ziploc because the powder gets all up in the Ziploc, so we put it in like another container in the kitchen. But it's they have capsules for that stuff too, but I like putting the powder like in water or smoothies. It's not that great of a taste, but I would say if you're trying to get a lot of nutrients, it like has lots of iron and a bunch of good stuff in it that I've just, and I feel like it helps keep us from getting sick too, honestly. So I would say just wherever you can find B12. I know I just make sure it says vegan on it usually. Um, and, probably there are, I'll try to look and see if I can find some, links to it. But just really, as long as I would say at least I take 2,500 milligrams. I don't know if that's too much to take every day. I just do it to make sure because I haven't had any, you know, I guess problems, but I didn't have B12 my first 6 months, and then I found a video about it, and I'm like, wait, I'm supposed to be doing B12. So I always try to say that when I'm talking to new vegans, because you don't want to, not have it. And a lot of times they put it in stuff, just, processed stuff. And I know Don talks about iodine. I don't know a lot about that. Um, but some people do supplement that. But that's the only other thing I know that vegans might need to get some of if you're not eating a lot of meat and dairy.
I'll have to look at the thing I bought, but I don't know if y'all have the 99-cent store where you're
Yes.
at, but I found some
It
supplements
now
there.
went up to $1.25.
Uh
Ours went up to $1.25.
no, I mean, I know Dollar Tree, but
Oh yeah,
this
we
is
don't
called
have
the
that one then.
99-cent store. And
I need to move where you are, man.
of course, everything's not 99 cents, but I bought these little canisters and they're by, I think it's called Bear Organics. And they're organic, they're powders. I've got one that's sea greens.
Okay.
So, and then I've got one that's turmeric, and then I've got another one. It's another name. I don't even know what it is, but it's supposed to help with your inflammation and things like that. So, when I was doing smoothies, I like to add it to my smoothie just because I feel like it's like the moringa. I have moringa also. I just feel like it just adds more vitamins, nutrition, nutrients.
Hmm.
Um, but I think they were talking about, I was listening to, this reboot that I'm on, and they were JP. Do you know John Pierre? JP?
I I think, is it a doctor?
No, he's actually he does the workouts and things like that. Actually,
Okay.
to celebrities, I think Ellen DeGeneres he was on her show before. He's vegan.
I'll have
Um
to look him up. How did I
he
miss that? I'm always amazed how I thought I knew everybody.
yeah, because I
Well,
remember
not everybody, but you know what I mean.
I remember seeing him when I first started looking toward the plant-based thing back in 2000, I don't know, 15 or so, because I saw Chef AJ was one of the first ones I've seen, and she used to do a lot with John Pierre. He's been on, I think, Dr. Oz. He was on Ellen, and he was Ellen's, he actually helps celebrities and some of the stars like stuntmen and all that get in shape when they want to lose weight, and so he's very knowledgeable in the weight training and weight loss and things like that. And he's a vegan. And so he was saying eat a nori sheet. You can dip it in water, wrap your vegetables in it, and just eat it. And that's how you can get some iodine, is in the.
Okay, yeah, that's right. They do have a lot of sea vegetables have a little bit of B12. And Dave just reminded me of something. Welcome, Dave. Dave does a lot of work with the bodybuilding team too. And Jeff Palmer, who's been a guest on the show, he's awesome. He actually has a company called Clean Machine that I think it's cleanmachineonline.com. I'll try to put a link in the description. And he sells, he said he has the best omega-3 and vitamin D, and he has a sale going on some things too. Completely vegan company too. Thank you for sharing that. I forgot he does have vitamin D, and he has like duck duckweed, I think it is. That's like some kind of new plant that was discovered. That what does that have in it, Dave? Do you remember? Is that the natural source of vitamin D or B12? Or I'm getting them all mixed up. I got all my nutrients mixed up, but you'll have to go on his website and check it out. Yeah, that's a good point. And he's a really very, very I would say responsible business owner. Like, if it's there, it's vegan. If you guys know Jeff, let's put it that way. He is one of the biggest animal advocates there are. So he definitely is making it safe and vegan if it's in his
Maybe
website.
you can put his information in the notes.
I will definitely. Oh, that was me. I was about to read my own message to Angela that I have a little meal plan that I made. I just have to tweak and make a couple of edits to it from new stuff that I've added, and I'll send that to you if you give me your email. Send me an email. It's a if you're trying to go raw vegan, I've got a little startup diet that I did. And let me see. Wait, that was oh, and JP. That's the name. I want to write that down. I just
Yeah,
went.
John Pierre. He's at johnpierre.com. And another thing he was saying is if a lot of people that have the sweet taste, the people that crave the sweets, and it's just like they were talking about the alcohol, the people that usually say they go to these AA meetings, they're quitting alcohol, but they usually have cookies and donuts or candy or whatever there because it's just like
You know
people
my
used to
theory
say
because I think we're frugivores.
people used to say, like the sugar can be compared as an addiction as cocaine. And so he was saying that, say if you're going to be going out to eat or you have this craving, that you can, what he does is, and I don't have the name right in front of me, but he gets this green powder that he gets on Amazon, and he puts some in his water bottle. So he's constantly sipping on the green water all day with greens. And he says that if you're going to go out to eat or things like that, that you can take, a smaller glass, put a tablespoon of this in it, swish it around. You swish it around in your mouth, and it helps alkaline your mouth where you are less liking the taste of sweetness. Because if you look at people that
Interesting.
like the sugar and the sweet, they usually don't like the bittery, like the taste of vegetables because they're more of a sweet. So he recommends to swish the green around in your mouth before going places like that. Maybe and it drinking an amount of it before you go eat as well can help minimize your appetite, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. That's really interesting. I love it, and I think that's one of the reasons people become successful. Of let me put Jeff's link on there. That's the Clean Machine. I think that's why people find success sometimes with like eating a lot of fruit, especially if you like sweets or like smoothies too, because that can be an easy way. Doesn't it kind of remind you of ice cream sometimes? You have a really good fruit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that's a good because I was reading too, based on what you said, that as soon as we put food in our mouth, it's kind of like our saliva identifies the flavor profile. So that's really that, and smell is where the first part of our food craving comes in. Yeah, so if you're craving that sugar, and there's a lot of sugar in alcohol, so
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense that we would replace it with that. You're exactly right.
And oh, I was gonna say something. Um oh, I mean, I can sit here and eat my salad or I can eat vegetables, and I'm thinking this is so delicious and so
I
good. How
know.
come how come I wasn't digging into this? Why would I want to go get this other thing? And
Because
after
we're a
when I
different
eat
person.
it,
We're a
when I
different
eat it,
mindset, right?
yeah,
Like we're just It's the mind is such a crazy it's like we become one with our body, like what our real cravings are when we eat right for a long time. I really believe that. Like we don't really want that other stuff, but it's hard to believe when we are eating it, because then we were just talking about it last night when I was eating those cookies and stuff, and avocado wasn't doing it for me. But now that my body is cleared out of all that mess, I'm like so excited right now to go get my bananas and my daily green boost mix, and I'm going to get some oranges and my grapes, and I'm like really getting stoked about my salad tonight. And it's like, how can I get that excited? I remember a long time ago someone looking at me while I was eating, like, you look like you're eating like, this gourmet meal, because I was all excited. And I'll sometimes, like when I used to make, like when I do the little avocado and the lettuce, I'll put like last night, I put like a little bit of lettuce, a little bit of that celery mix, and rolled it up with avocado in it with a little, if you have dressing, you can dip it in there. You can make like little roll ups, sprouts, whatever you want to put in it. And it's like, it's just feeling good. I think your everything gets on one accord. Like there's no guilt to what you're eating and it tastes good. That's like the best feeling ever when you finish a meal and you've like fueled your body. I like had to switch my mindset to like, I'm not eating necessarily only just to eat. I'm eating to put nutrients in. And when you go to that, it really does make a difference. Marakita said, "Hi, Dave. Oh, what's the name of the green powder? Do you know what that is?" She was asking. We'll have to look it up.
Yeah. Let me see. While you're talking, I can try to look and see.
Okay. Let's see if we have any other questions here. Oh, Dave said, "Hi, Marakita." I love it. We're all vegans unite, like the name said. It feels like the gang's all here. If anybody wants to click in and join, we'll probably be on here about 10, 15 more minutes. If anybody else wants to join, I know I'm getting hungry. It's getting late. I got to work early. I know Diana's got her family to take care of. I know, is it earlier there where you are? It's 2 hours behind me, right?
Yeah, it's almost it's 4:42, so it's not 5 o'clock yet. It's going on 5.
Oh, I wish it was that here. It's already 6:42 here. So I'm like, yeah, it's getting late, and I was really excited to do this. I had so much fun last night just kind of talking about not having such a structured conversation, but just coming on and kind of talking about our day and what we're eating, and how if and I'm really glad that everyone joined and Dave chimed in with reminding us about Jeff. And that's kind of how we all like try to lift each other up and like promote each other's pages and refer, because it might be something that Angela resonates with when she watches your channel, let's say as a new vegan, that she might not resonate with me. Or it might be she gets good information, something little topic from Marakita and that she didn't know, or Dave, and that's why I love sharing stuff on the group, because there's a lot of people on there who are really early on their vegan journey. And also we have a lot of friends now that I know that are experienced vegans, have been vegans for years. So they have so much, knowledge. And it's easy sometimes to forget where we came from in those beginning days once you do it for so long. And it's like, I think remembering that and remembering what people need help along the way, the very basic stuff, we forget to tell people sometimes. Marakita said she loves her vegan friends. We love you too. I feel like I've gotten so mushy in my old age. I'm always like, I love you guys. Diana is actively searching for that
I
vegan.
know. I should have wrote it down. I know I had looked it up when he was talking about it, but um I'll have to I'll have to maybe
Yeah,
add
just
it to the comment or something later.
post it on the veganology page or in the comments of the video. I'll
Yeah.
keep looking for it, and I'll put it on there for you or approve the post. I haven't looked today. I hope there's not a bunch of I did look before I came on. I sometimes forget to look at the pending approvals, and there's like 10 of them on the page. I'm like, oh no, I missed Diana's recipe going on there, her picture of her food going on there. And and a bunch of stuff sometimes. But thank you guys for doing that. I guess if no one else wants to join us, we will try to close it up. I don't know if we were able to tell. Do you want to tell anything? Like, do you want to mention any last closing comments or tips for new vegans, or just anything that you want to say? I don't know if we told people. You can go to Diana's channel. I'm going to link that in the description too. She's got videos talking about her journey. But do you want to mention just a little bit about your journey and your page to us too before you go?
Yeah. I started my YouTube because I wanted to document my journey because I felt like it would help keep me accountable. And I love to help other people too. So, but I think that, if you're just starting out, just take it one meal at a time, one day at a time. I would just say small steps. Don't beat yourself up over making a mistake or making a choice that, you know, backtracks you. Just move on to the next time, the next day. So don't hesitate to reach out if I can help anybody, but just, little things will, little steps will get you there. So don't give up.
I love that. And I like the one meal at a time, because each meal is a choice. And the more of those good choices we make, like you said, even if you falter or you mess up on the exact plan you want to be, don't, like, have fun with it. Have fun with the journey. Get into it. Why, like, I was constantly watching videos like this on, YouTube, and people that have healed from plant-based and health benefits of this and that. I still am. Like, I'm still like obsessed with it. Like, I can work all day and the first thing I want to do is like come on here or watch somebody's video that that's a part of the page, or look at what they ate, or help someone online. And like, it's just it if you get into that lifestyle, it will become easy. It'll become just what you do. You won't have to think about it after a while. Like, you won't have to say, oh, let me go to the store and what's vegan and what's not. Like, I say that all the time. You'll just go in there and boom, 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 pick up the stuff you love, and you'll know. And when you go out, you'll have those meals already, those go-to things that you get. Um you'll just and you'll have to also be strong with it too, because there's a lot of things trying to pull you in different directions. But when you have your why, and you are trying to set a good example, and this is what you want, it's just like when you're making other choices in life. We have to just do it until our mind buys in, basically, and our body starts. When you start to feel good, though, if you can kind of get yourself in a zone to eat that way, when you start to feel good, it's like we were talking about last night. I don't want to go back to feeling that way. This is a much better quality of life than when I was eating the standard American diet, because I had no idea that connection, that food meant anything. It almost gets frustrating to watch when other people complain of things, and you just want to help them so bad, and you're like, if you could just give up that dairy and meat, I know that could go away. But I also know, on the same effect, why I love helping people, because it's hard, and like, you need that guidance and that encouragement to keep you going, or you're going to go the other way, because it's we can be very hard on ourselves too. I loved what you said about that. Like, if you mess up, or you get something that you didn't even know it had dairy and meat in it, putting more good stuff than bad in is good. But I think truly the best thing you can do for yourself is completely clear out of that other stuff, because then you won't even crave it. If you can, if you can do
Right.
it. And I know you all can. You can do it. Thank you. Anybody in the comments have anything else to say? Angela, do you have? I loved your great questions. Thank you so much. Definitely reach out to all of us. Join the Facebook group. We're excited to hear about your journey and how your health things are starting to clear up. Because I know they will. I know they're going to, because you're going to start to feel better, and I'm excited for you about that. And what are you having tonight? Mexican?
I'm just probably gonna fix spaghetti for them, and I'm gonna just fix me. I have a sweet potato in there ready and vegetables. I've got those stir fry vegetables from Costco, and then I've got that teriyaki balsamic vinegar from
Hmm.
California balsamic. I like to put on there, like that one that I posted.
Yeah.
I had those vegetables with some brown rice, and I just added fresh pineapple to it, and that teriyaki balsamic.
Oh,
So it
yeah.
was. I do a lot of real simple, easy things because they don't always eat what I eat. Um,
Hmm.
because
You don't want to make too elaborate meals, right? Like,
right, I've had them get the little ones, not the littlest one, but the kids. I've had them look in the fridge and they just get so upset because they said that we don't have anything to eat. All we have is vegan stuff. And and it's so funny that they'll make faces.
Willow.
They'll make faces and go, "Ew, that's vegan." And it's like,
I like
but
vegan stuff.
you
She
I
likes
don't
vegan
know
stuff.
why.
We know you are
you're gonna
just
be
like
the
grandma.
next vegan mama here
Why
That's
you have
right.
smoothies, Grandma?
because
One of them's
I
empty.
know. So I usually try to make simple things. I have a lot of frozen vegetables. Thank you. I'll put that on in a minute. I have a lot of frozen vegetables I like to use. Put them in a stir fry, add some
I like to
sauce,
make food.
and
You
add
do?
different beans, add beans to it or potatoes and pour it over, have a baked potato, put all that on top and with some salsa. I make my own salsa and
Nice.
I like
You
to
are
just,
setting such a good example for her too. Look, she's gonna be so healthy because of how she's eating now early on.
and of course you heard the salsa. I
She
You
does
just
gotta
like
have
potatoes
salsa.
and stuff.
I have
Yeah.
I have to have the spice. In
She
fact,
likes
hey,
spice.
I the brand new vegan. Do you know who the brand new vegan is?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, go get me those little sauces. You know those little tiny
The
sauces?
really hot one?
Yeah.
Oh, the tiny ones?
I went to the neighborhood Walmart and I've seen them before, but I went ahead and I was there reading all the ingredients. Now, these do have some salt, but they're little different spice hot sauces and ghost pepper and sriracha
Oh
uh
goodness. Now
and
Dawn was just talking
serrano.
about the jalapeno burnt her up last night. We're not gonna get those hot ones.
Ah, I love spicy stuff. Um, and so these little, I don't know if they're like 3-ounce bottles, but they're only $1 each. So
No way. You find all the good stuff. That one time when you came on my show and we're talking about how much fruit you got for all those, what was it, like 60 avocados or 50 avocados for like $15 or something? I was amazed. I'm like, you need to do your channel of I like that. I don't know if somebody already does that, but plant based on a budget sounds like a really cool show.
I
I
think
would
there is
definitely.
one, but
There's 3 different kinds, Grandmas. Well, this,
so
I can open
I bought this
You're
whole
so
big,
adorable.
I put them in this container.
Oh, okay. Look
Yeah,
at that.
let's just show her a few. We don't have to show
Okay,
them all.
so, no,
But
Grandma, I got it. This one is yellow
bird.
yeah, yellow bird.
This is
Cool.
Serrano hot sauce.
Look at you with all the. No wonder
This
Diana's
is
food is
blue.
spicy.
This is pizza hot sauce.
Check that out. And you're in
Anyway,
Arizona, right?
huh?
You're in Arizona?
Yes, and the brand new vegan, he's not in Arizona, but he said his Walmart had these also. Just hand me a
Trying to find the
different one.
ketchup kind.
Oh, they're
So,
probably at the
but
bottom.
what are they called? Like, they're not brand new vegan, right? They're not the brand.
No,
Oh, okay. They're really
no,
cute, too.
these are just different brands. This is Marie Sharp's. Like this one is a super green habanero.
So they're just like sauce you pour on the stuff.
This one
Yeah,
is
like it's hot sauce.
ketchup.
Oh, jalapeno ketchup.
Nice. Oh, I used to love ketchup a lot.
And there's no oil in any of these.
Nice.
So, and I think I don't even think, oh, wait. This one does have sugar because it's ketchup.
Did you already do this one? Yeah.
No, that's ghost pepper.
Whoa, that's a hot one, right?
Habanero black cherry.
Oh, black cherry habanero. But anyway, I like to drizzle this on top of my vegetables, and I just like to have spice. I mean, I have cayenne pepper, and
you have ghost pepper stuff too.
Yeah, well, I think that's important too, is that you can make it taste good, and make something that you enjoy. Because obviously, like, and you can see, like, there's so many different ways some people love spicy, some people like more, like what I get into is like more of the bland type stuff. Mine sounds boring when you hear Diana's meals, but I really get into it. I enjoy that big salad and just a little, if I have any kind of dressing at all. I enjoy the fruits, and like you have all that mixed in. Plus, she can cook, so she's got like her whole food meals that she makes and everything. I would say turn everything into a taco. That's it. Turn everything into.
I do love
I
to
love
put.
it.
Hey,
I do love to put fruit in my salad. Grapes in a salad are amazing.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
so I like some vegan stuff, and I like meat. Some. I like both.
You like
and vegan.
You like vegan? No, we know that you're doing good. Thank you for eating vegan. Thanks for coming on, Willow. Thanks for making the appearance. Everyone says hi. Thank you for coming on, Diana, and sharing your plant-based wisdom and your journey with us. We really appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for joining in. Let's see, Tessa, I know you were here. And then we had Angela. Thank you for all your questions. Please come on again when we come on next, and keep us all posted in the group how you're doing. If you have any questions, email me. I'll send you that meal plan and some of the other stuff. And Marikita, thank you for being on here. Dave, thank you for coming on. And thank you. Marikita said, thank you for this. I think I might have posted that one. And everything has been appreciated. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you for being here. I hope everyone is going to have an amazing plants formation and a beautiful evening. And I hope you all just will come on the next time and really come up and talk with us. And what me and Diana could ramble on, right? And me, her, and Dawn, I think, and Michelle and Muriel were here, so it was great. And Marikita came on with her beautiful animal wisdom and her knowledge. So thank you, everyone. I really, truly appreciate you. Thank you for subscribing to my channel and all of our channels. And we will see you on the next time that we come on. Anything else you want to say?
Say bye.
Bye. Have a good evening. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. You too, everybody.